All right, the next question from Gordon. He says, if you've already gone, let's see, since most sites that the press releases are distributed to will purge the PR in 30 days or so, other than a short-term bump of SEO juice or traffic, what is the purpose or long-term benefit of press release for a site or GMB listing, since the benefit appears to go away after a month or so? Well, we've covered this in like local PR pro and in the mastermind and stuff like that. I'll tell you kind of on a more conceptual or higher level. First of all, when you should be stacking. We just covered this in the last MGYB webinar that we did last week, by the way, last Thursday. So if you go to the mgyb.co/store/webinar, you can see it. You can also go to our YouTube channel and search for PR stacking or press release SEO, either one of those, and you'll see the video that, like, Marco and I did an hour-long webinar where we talk very specifically about how to get the best results with press releases. So if you're doing the press release stack method, which is daisy chaining press releases together, then the idea is to find the press releases that do not purge. For example, like on Press Advantage, it would be the press releases that are published on that domain, or Digital Journal's another one, and there are others, but find the ones that do not purge and use those as part of the stack, right? So that you're essentially daisy chaining them together. Something else is press releases, I think, should be an ongoing method, something that you continually do. You don't have to do them, all that often, but as I suggested in the webinar last week, that for all of my clients, even my lowest paying clients, they're getting now at least 2 a month. My higher paying, most of my average client gets 1 press release per week. And I know that seems like a lot, but I do that because they're really, really powerful. And, the way that, especially that we taught last week in the webinar, which again, you guys can find that on our YouTube channel. It works really well to use to constantly publish press releases, right? And if you silo them together, or that you stack, we talked about the PR silo stack last week, which is something new that's working well. I've been testing that for several weeks now, and it's been working really well. Then that's how you'll end up preventing the juice, as you mentioned here, from disappearing. It's funny, but when we first came out with the local PR pro method, which is that's probably 2 years ago now, I had done a whole lot of testing initially, and so did Rob. And it was funny because once we had fully proven the process or the method that it worked, and we were able to duplicate it across many different properties, I tested it on 15. I know Rob tested it on many as well. It was funny, but I kind of really stopped publishing press releases for a lot of the properties that I had used in proving that, in testing and proving the method. And it was funny because I had taught originally to PR stack link to the top local PR that was published. So in other words, if you were targeting a local, and remember it was called local PR pro. So if you were targeting a local keyword, a lot of the times you'd find a particular one of the media sites that it was republished on would rank really well for a local term, right? So your press release would rank on one of those published domains. And in my case, for a lot of the sites or clients that I have in Virginia and the lead gen sites and things like that, we had an NBC 12 or something the Richmond, Virginia NBC affiliate website. It was their affiliate website that it would publish on. So in other words, it was a local, Richmond being the capital of Virginia. That one typically ranked very well for any sort of local Virginia business that I was trying to promote with press releases. So originally I would say we'd link within a PR stack to whatever the top local ranked press release was in the stack. But then that's when I found out a couple of months later that they purged. And how did I find that out? Well, because all of a sudden, for things that were kicking ass rankings, especially maps listings that I had pushed with nothing other than press releases, after about 3 months or so, I started seeing a lot of those dropping off or falling, several positions in maps. And upon investigation, I found out that most of the press releases that we had been linking to within the stack had been purged from the sites. So that's why I added some additional training to the PR and Pro method, which was to only link to PRs that don't get purged. So find the publication sites that don't get purged, use those in the stack, or set up redirect links within the press releases, like a domain, so you can do custom domain redirects, or like you can use the Pretty Links plugin in your own domain or something like that, so that you can, when they purge, you can go back in and change the target or destination URL within the redirect to another press release that is still published. Now, I don't recommend doing that, because if you're doing this as an ongoing thing, you're going to constantly have to go back and edit redirect links. And think, if you're doing this on a regular basis, that is going to compound. They're going to accumulate to where you're going to have more and more and more redirects to edit as time goes on. And so that's not an efficient way to run a business. So your best bet is to just find the press releases that don't purge. Like I said, for Press Advantage, it would be, you could link to the media page or the organization page. You could link to the press releases published on the Press Advantage domain. You could link to Digital Journal, and you can also look through, there are a few others in there as well that you could find. If you do any of the upgraded services, like, Yahoo Financial, or Yahoo.finance or whatever, or AP News or anything like that, a lot of the times those won't purge either. You can link to those also. Okay. So once again, the short answer is continually post PRs, but use the silo stack, or the stacking method, preferably the silo stacking method. Again, go watch the webinar that we posted last week, and link to the other press releases that aren't going to purge. All right. It's a good question though, Gordon.
I think that the great part of this is that you get that media room, right?
Yes.
And all of your releases get published, or you get a blurb in that media room. And so when you're doing link building, and you link build into your organization page, as they call it in Press Advantage, all of the press releases that are in there benefit, and everything within that press release is linked to also benefits, and it ends up in whichever syndication pages are still active, right? Because the others are either there'll be a 404 not found, or whatever error you're going to get, that because they've purged. But the idea is that the ones that haven't purged, they keep benefiting just from link building into that organization page or that media center.
There you go. So there it is. By the way, just go to YouTube. You can go directly to our channel and search our channel, and you'll see it there. But you can also just go to YouTube and type in PR stacking, and it's the first video. Or if you type in press release SEO, it's the fourth or fifth video. So again, guys, just go check that video out. It was an hour and 1 minute long. We just streamed it 5 days ago, and it's very, very powerful method.
And while you're at it, you can also hit that subscribe button, because
you're damn right you can.
Oh yeah.
All right, back at it.